Good evening. I have the time as 7:30, so I will call the public hearing and regular business meeting of the Mayor and Council for the City of Snellville, Georgia, Monday, March 23rd, 2026 to order. We do have a quorum, however, we are missing one council member. Hetherington is not with us tonight. The invocation will be given by Council Member Norman Carter.
Father, we are gathered here today in Snellville, invoking your spirit to guide our minds, our actions, and our tongues. We pray that your guidance will lead us to make strong and proper decisions that will benefit our community, not only today, but for this community's endless tomorrows. We pray that the policy of our pledged civility will reign in this room tonight and whenever we meet and invoke your name. In so doing, our thoughts and tongues will be civil, even when we speak to and about those with adversarial positions. As we are all created in your image, we cannot with malice aforethought misinform, mischaracterize, mistreat, or misdirect our colleagues, our public, and even ourselves. We are your children and the sheep of your pasture. In the name of Jesus Christ, Son of God, our Messiah, we invoke your presence, protection, and providence. Amen.
Thank you, Councilmember Carter. And for all those who are able, please stand for the pledge to be led by Councilmember Rochelle Brown.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight we have one proclamation to give out. We have Proclamation 2026-05, Month of the Military Child. Whereas the Department of Defense has consistently acknowledged the vital role of military children and youth, and whereas these resilient young individuals demonstrate unwavering commitment, adaptability, and courage in the face of unique challenges, and whereas military children contribute significantly to the strength and resilience of our military families and communities, and whereas their sacrifices often go unnoticed, yet they play an essential role in supporting the Army's mission. And whereas the month of the military child provides an opportunity to celebrate their achievements, honor their past, cherish the present, and shape a brighter future. And therefore, let it be known that we recognize and appreciate the contributions of military children and youth, and we commit to providing them with quality care and positive youth development. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Barbara Bender, Mayor of the City of Snellville, where everybody's proud to be somebody, do hereby join with the City Council to declare April 2026 as Month of the Military Child, and call upon all the individual citizens, government agencies, churches, and civic organizations in the City of Snellville to observe the month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities as a way to bring our mission and vision into reality. Proclaim this 23rd day of March, 2026. And today we have Ms. Cricket AG, who will come forward and accept the proclamation.
Everybody slide in this way. Gotta avoid that podium. Alrighty. This way. 1, 2, microphone. There you go.
And now we'll move to the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
There's a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second? With a motion and a second, all in favor, please raise your hand. That is 5 in favor with none opposed. Now we have, under invited guests, we have our city auditor, James Whitaker. He's going to give us a little presentation on the city's audit from the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025.
Good evening. It's good to be with you tonight. We have completed the city's audit for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025, and we have issued an unmodified opinion on the city's financial statements. That means that the city's financial statements are presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles for governments. Just to review the general fund for a minute or two, which is the most important fund of the city. The fund had total assets of $8,081,000, of which $6,219,000 was in cash. Total liabilities and deferred items amounted to $4,378,000, which leaves the general fund with a fund balance of $3,702,000 as of June 30, 2025, which is a 19.6% reserve compared to the general fund's expenditures for the year. For the year, the general fund had revenues of $16,153,000, expenditures of $18,913,000, which included approximately $4 million for the purchase of 2 pieces of land that are to be used for future community developments. And this resulted in an excess of expenditures over revenues of $2,759,000. The general fund also transferred $876,000 to the other funds, which most of that was to the sanitation fund. And so this ended in a negative fund balance change of $3,636,000 for the year. That's just a synopsis of what transpired in the general fund. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be glad to take them.
Are there any questions of council for Mr. Whitaker? Okay, thank you, Jimmy.
I appreciate the opportunity to serve the city as their auditor for this year.
We appreciate you. Thank you. We have no committee or department reports, so we'll move to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 5 in favor with none opposed. We have nothing under public hearing, consent agenda, or old business, so we'll move to new business. We have item A, consideration and action on award of the sanitation bid. City Manager Pepper.
Thank you, Mayor Bender. So the city's current sanitation provider is Waste Management, and their contract sunsets with the city on June 30th of this year. In preparation for this, the city issued an invitation to bid for commercial residential sanitation services within the city. In response to that invitation to bid, the city received 3 bids from 3 separate haulers. Staff then rated those bids on several criteria, and based on this review, the staff recommends to the mayor and council that we award the contract to Waste Management. The contract will be for 3 years with an additional 3-year renewal option here. So this is we will not experience any disruption in service or any change, as Waste Management is the city's current hauler. Latham Sanitation will be a sub for Waste Management and will continue to provide a residential sanitation service for our citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Pepper. With that explanation, is there a motion?
Motion to approve sanitation bid?
And award?
And award it to Waste Management Services?
Yes.
All right.
There is a motion to award the sanitation contract to Waste Management. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion by council? None, then I will.
I know some questions sometimes, but if I'm not, excuse me, if I'm not mistaken, one of the meetings we had, I'm sorry, pardon me, there is a upgrade in some of the services that we're receiving. So I would like, if Mr. Peppers, do you remember, or can you go over like 2 or 3 of those upgraded services that we are receiving?
So each citizen currently has a 65-gallon trash bin. That will be upgraded to a 95-gallon bin, which will be able to fit another 2 or 3 bags, maybe even 4, depending on the size of the bags. As part of the program, the city will be retiring the blue bag program as it stands for bulk items, and we'll go to a traditional model where people can schedule for bulk item pickup up to 2 items for folks to get that at the curbside there. I also remember a provision in the contract where Latham will pick up up to 6, I believe, up to 6 yard waste bags at the curb as well, which is more than what they're picking up now.
Thank you, CJ, for asking that. Anyone else? All right, then I will ask for the vote. All in favor of awarding the sanitation contract to Waste Management, please raise your hand. That is 5 in favor, so none are opposed. Congratulations, guys. You're hooked up to us for another couple of years. We really appreciate all of the great service that we've had in the past, and glad that you were able to be competitive with this bid. So thank you.
We're grateful for the partnership.
Okay, now we have item B, consideration and action on approval of the 6 remnant defendants' combined subdivision participation and release form related to the opioid settlement agreement. Do you want to explain this? I'm going to jumble this up. Are you prepared to talk?
Of course, Mayor. So the state of Georgia is set to receive funds from various national opioid settlements with manufacturers, distributors, and pharmacy chains aimed at addressing the damages caused by the opioid crisis. A significant portion of these funds have been allocated to local governments. This agenda item is the approval of a settlement with 6 additional defendants. It's important to note that these funds are restricted and can only be spent on expenses related to drug intervention and interdiction. The staff recommends that the council approve this contract.
With that, is there a motion?
Motion to approve the settlement of the opioid settlement with 6 additional defendants.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Any discussion by council? Then I will ask for the vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 5 in favor with none opposed. Item C, consideration and action on approval of an updated legal services agreement for the city attorney. Powell and Crawley, who Jay is a member of that firm, is merging in with a firm, Talent and Howell, or Talent Howell. And so Jay will be merging in with them, and then also Tony as well. If you've been here for the last couple of meetings, Kevin Talent has filled in for a couple of meetings here at the city. He is known to the city. He helped the city quite a few years ago with some other issues that we've had. So we're very pleased with this merger, and due to the merger, then we have an updated fee agreement with the new firm, Talent Howell. So with that, is there a motion?
Motion to, for approval of the updated fee agreement for legal services.
There's a motion to approve the updated fee agreement. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 5 in favor with none opposed. And that ends our business portion of the meeting tonight. So we'll move to council reports, and we'll start with Councilmember Hardrick.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes. And to begin my report, I would like to offer my condolences to the Snell family for a loss of their loved one, and ask everyone to keep their family lifted in prayer. In addition, regarding my votes on the items today, the sanitation was pretty cut and dry. I believe that the recommendation from the staff, looking at, we had 3 people who actually bid for the sanitation contract, and the one that they recommended came in with the most affordable rate for our citizens. In terms of the opioid process, those funds will help us crack down on any of those issues in our city. And it's something that the mayor mentioned in our work session, asking that staff present how much they receive, what they're going to do with that money, where is it going to be applied. I think that's going to help us citizens see the benefit and where those dollars are going and helping our community. In terms of the legal services, we already have a contract with these individuals, and they just merged on with someone else, so it just made sense to just keep on going in that route. In terms of some good congratulations going around in the room, I would like to congratulate Officer Johnny Green for receiving the Code Enforcement Award of the Year. So congratulations, Johnny. Definitely well deserved. You do go above and beyond, and I've seen you in our neighborhoods doing neighborhood watches and helping encourage citizens what the rules are. And that's the only way we're going to get better, is when people understand what the rules are so that they can follow those rules, and we can learn how to live with one another. I'd also like to acknowledge a Snellville resident, Linda Carr, who was a recipient of the Single Parent Day Award. She's a Snellvillian, and she was honored and recognized this weekend by State Representative Doreen Carter for a Single Parent Day. Also, Gwinnett Women's Chamber had a gala, and they awarded several phenomenal women. One who was as young as 16, who received an award for an invention that she created to help young leaders who are suffering from not having the necessary resources that young women need. And it stopped them from going to school and getting their education. And because of this young woman who's 16, she created this business at 15, and she's doing really well. And I may say my colleague, Councilwoman Rochelle Brown, she was a recipient as well of the award as well. Lastly, I'd like to remind everyone that this is Women's Month, and a person that we all know all too well, a woman who stands up for the city of Snellville, who's lived here over 50 years. And one person I would like to just definitely acknowledge, Miss Patricia Rollins. To me, she's a woman who definitely loves the city. She does everything she can to make sure that our community is connected. She started a SNAP program to bring our neighborhoods together. And what people don't know is that she helps individuals who are suffering from cancer or who may need someone to watch their family member while they get treatment. She helps families who their child was neurodivergent, who ran away and was not in the home and got out, and she helped those family members find that child before some harm came to that child. So I want to say thank you, Patricia Rollins, for stepping up and loving your community and doing it when sometimes it's not easy, because it's not easy saying and doing the right thing, and you may feel alone, but you're not. So I truly appreciate all the things that you do to help keep Snellville together and strong. And lastly, for Women's Month, I'd like to acknowledge Mayor Bender as being the trailblazer that you are, as being the second female mayor in the 100-year history of Snellville. So if you can join me in congratulating Mayor Bender. And lastly, W.C. Britt had Career Day this past week, and it was phenomenal. And Snellville Middle School will be having a Career Day this week as well. And if you're not plugged in to pour into our young people, I ask that you do. Please support W.C. Britt, Snellville Middle, and South Gwinnett High School, and all the things that they're doing, because those are our schools in our district, and they need as much support as they possibly can. So with that, I will end it. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Make sure you tune in to the YouTube channel and watch us on the Comcast channel for the post-recording. Thank you so much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Kat. And now we'll go to Councilmember Brown.
Good evening. I wanted just to take a moment to say that we are living in some pretty scary times. And it's really important that we stand together as a community to be intentional and show up for one another. You look across the room and you may have someone that you may not have shown up for, or may not have been in a space to be a community and work together. But we're in a generation now, guys, where jobs are being lost, and the current economic climate leaves families just facing uncertainty, where a lot of incomes with your residents have been cut, six-figure incomes have become zero. And as neighbors, we bind together. As we watch the news and it says what most economists say, brace for impact. And if you check your grocery bill or your gas lately, you can see it's already happening. They're not joking. In the midst of it all, we just need to move forward with a little bit more wisdom and compassion. That's why moments like these, community really matters. Y'all, we walk through the farmer's market. The farmers are struggling. Sometimes their crops don't do well. It's about supporting one another, supporting what the community of Snellville looks like, feels like, and the experience that we create to those that we invite here and those that live here. But we're not defined by our headlines. We're not defined by one moment, one incident, or one difficult situation, because I think all of us in this room have experienced that in one moment or the other. Snellville is defined by its people, by the neighbors who look out for one another, for the ones that show up in this room every time we have a meeting, and the one that continue to show resilience and care even in the face of hardship. So as leaders, it's our responsibility to act in both compassion and in action. While we continue to support one another, we want to just make sure that we pay recognition to our law enforcement. I see them out here in action. I see them out here caring and being our hero, even when things come to Snellville and we all look at the news and say, oh my God, not in Snellville. At the same time, we want to focus on ongoing improvements to our public safety and making sure our city remains strong and the responsible people with our budget. You entrusted us to be your leaders, and we're moving forward with intentionally to do that. And speaking for our future city, I want to just take a moment to highlight the Snellville Youth Council is now accepting applications for 2026 and 2027. This council is high school students, including ninth graders attending South Gwinnett, Shiloh, and Brookwood, and some homeschool students. This program serves as a leadership pipeline, giving students a voice, a platform, and the opportunity to engage directly with local government, work with us here in this community. More than half of our current students are transitioning to college, which means we need to put a focus on investing in our future. So as we are excited to send the group we have off to college to come and be future leaders and sit and hold the seats that we once held, we also want to encourage families, educators, and community members to help spread the word that, hey, Snellville is a place to be. Applications are only available online through the city website, and then there is a TikTok. You know, we are in the future of AI and social media. Instagram and TikTok has a QR code where they can scan and get the application. Applications will close on June 30th for this year. The upcoming school year will start in August, so I encourage everyone to apply, because if you wait till 11:58, you might not have a time. So let's bind together, not only just investing in ourselves, but our future leaders. I can say that our current director was once a participant in Snellville Youth Council. We have a wonderful group of advisors, which Rich is one of them, who is here every farmer's market. He shows up and he is investing right back into our youth. So I can appreciate that. I want to just say thank you to everyone that showed up tonight. You know, at least we're not having a meeting in an empty room, so I really appreciate you all showing up, and encourage your neighbors to show up. If they want, don't just show up when we're talking and we're voting on things that are going to happen or things that you don't like. Show up on days like this when we're talking about good stuff, or we're talking about things that actually really matter. Thank you, and I hope we work together. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Rochelle, and now we'll go to Councilmember Pitt.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. As always, it is a blessing to be here. It is a blessing to be here. So I'm going to be quick. The two ladies already kind of hit the topics I was going to hit. Number one was sanitation. I know that was a big thing a couple of months ago. We saw that increase. So the things I'm going to be looking for as an incoming councilman for the future, after the bid has already been approved by all of us, it's just how the service look. I kind of made that clear a long time ago. I'm just looking for the service and showing that the service that Snellvillians are paying for are the services that we're getting. And I appreciate Mr. Pepper's going over a little bit of the increase in the service, so you'll know where to go to. You know that you can call our sanitation department now in order to get those services. You're paying for it, so let's use it. Use the services that are provided. The rest of it you can find online also. Councilwoman Hardy already kind of went over that how did we get here portion of it, about the 3 bids. There were other contractors who are involved, and Waste Management ended up being the best. So I'm gonna give you a quick story. When I first moved here, I personally, been in the military, after retiring for 20 years, my eyes fixate on things that's out of place. So when I first moved here, or when I go anywhere, trash sticks out to me no matter where I'm at. If there's a, think about if there's a giant clean field, as we all know, if there's a white piece of paper, you can see it if you just look for it. Let's help each other and let's help our youth. I'm definitely going to do it on my end. And we need to get back into the environmental month, that green space, the Earth Day, Earth Week, Earth Month. Let's start investing back into our earth and keeping it clean. When we reduce the amount of services we need, that's how your taxes also come down, right? When you have to use services to go clean the streets, because some citizens feel like it's okay to turn their streets into the trash can. We all have seen it. I know some people have come up here and talked about it themselves. We all seen it. I don't know what to do when I've seen people as young as 10 do it, and people as old as look like in their 50s and 60s throwing trash out their car windows. That is a moral thing, in my opinion. I said this before, cleanliness is next to godliness. That's just a thing. So we have to reinvest in that part of our lives, keeping everything clean, not just inside our house. I don't feel good. I know my house is clean, but on my approach home in my community, I want my community to look like how my house look and how I feel when I approach. So I'm always going to be focused on the trash. I'm always going to be focused on trying to keep it clean, but we also have to have resolutions to the things that we're requesting. If we can do something for free, I'm looking for that resolution first, because everything else costs us money. And when you come to the government, as we know, ask the government for things, we're going to say, well, we got to raise taxes. We want to get out that space. That's all I have. We went over Brit. I hope everybody have a great day today. I hope everybody have a blessed weekend, and definitely can't wait to see everybody next month in April.
Thank you, CJ, and now we'll go to Mayor Pro Tem Carter.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening, everybody. Spring is here, and the Grove will begin to rock on April 11th with the beginning of its 2026 entertainment program. If you don't have the events Grove schedule that I have passed out today, please visit the Grove's Facebook page at facebook.com, the Grove Action Center / the Grove Action Center, or just see me after the meeting. I've got plenty. There's going to be entertainment there that's going to fit almost everybody's taste. I say almost because there are no absolutes in this universe. I'm sorry. Seasonal sponsorships are available for business and individuals. If you are interested in being a sponsor and having your name and business logo prominently displayed in the Grove, please see me after the meeting or email Downtown Development Director Jan Harris at jharris@snellville.org. Snellville's Farmers Market. No driving, it's thriving. Year after year, I continue to hear that Snellville is not a diverse community. It's nonsense. From vegetable plants to shrimp and grits, to wellness products to pizza. It's all here, presented by a widely diverse group of vendors serving a widely diverse clientele. Kudos to Market Director Charlene Britt for continuing the legacy of Gretchen and Kurt Schultz. Snellville Youth Commission. You often hear that Snellville is lacking in opportunities for educational, physical, and spiritual growth for our youth. I visited the Snellville Youth Council meeting this weekend and spoke to several of the students. This weekend, they had a mentoring session with representatives of our local United Community Bank. After the meeting, I learned that the students and mentors were equally impressed with one another. Kudos to Director Esther Nwide, Council members Rochelle Brown and Shantae Pitts for being the leaders to guide these future stars of Snellville into a bright future. Lastly, District 3 Commissioner Jasper Watkins will hold a State of Gwinnett County Town Hall meeting next Monday, March 30th, 2026, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Gwinnett Justice Center on Langley Drive. Thank you. Have a great 2 weeks before we get back. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Norman. And a short report from me tonight. I'm pleased to announce that the final suspect in the Briscoe Park shooting that happened last year has been arrested. I just really appreciate the dedication of our police officers in tracking down all of those. It was a chaotic situation, and they were able to track down everyone that was involved, and all are in custody. So thank you, Chief. Please pass along my sincere thanks to our police officers. As CJ had mentioned about the trash, I would just like to throw out a reminder that Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful is a great nonprofit organization here in the county that does an awful lot of great work, and they do still have the Adopt a Street program. So if anyone listening or anyone here has a small group of people that could get together and adopt a street, Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful provide all of the materials that you need, the bags, gloves, vests, and all of that. And they will even come pick up the trash that you've picked up. So there is an opportunity for everybody to participate in that. Litter has been a problem ever since I was a kid. And, it's just one of those things that unfortunately, as CJ said, it's a moral thing to me as well. But unfortunately, people do tend to just use the streets as their garbage can, or some of it's innocent, things blow out of recycle bins or trash cans and things like that. But either way, it looks bad on our streets. So just wanted to remind everybody of that program. And I'm pleased to announce as well, over in the Grove, in the Market Building, not only is Crooked Can Pita Mediterranean open, and Keys Cakery, they've been open for several months. And Keys Cakery is, she's a graduate of South Gwinnett. So would appreciate you all going over there. Her cupcakes are delicious, and supporting her in her endeavor. But also the local butcher and barbecue shop has opened there with fresh meats and barbecue. Parkside District is planning on opening with a soft opening either later this week or next week. So that's all very exciting that all of these places are finally getting open and will be open for the spring and the summer. So we're really expecting the Grove to rock this year. Would ask that everyone just keep Kirk Schultz and, of course, Melvin Everson in your thoughts and prayers as they continue to recuperate. Kurt had a fall and some surgery, and he's trying to get his strength back, and Melvin is and his wife are on a difficult road. So please remember them in your thoughts and prayers in the coming weeks. And with that, I'll close my mayor's report, and I will open the floor to public comment. We did have one person who signed up to speak. However, you don't have to be signed up, so I'll call this person forward first, and then anyone else can follow. Ms. Claudette Forbes. 5 minutes on one topic, please. And state your name and address for the record.
My name is Claudette Forbes, 2781 Londonderry Court. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's ironical that my topic seems to be the topic of the day, is trash. I've been living in Snellville for 33 years, and it seems as though it has deteriorated, where a house in front of me, property, is owned by a corporation. It's 2780 Londonderry Court. And we have been having issues with that property. The quality of life unit has been there several times. Well, on this is the 4th week that we have a refrigerator in the street in front of the house and 2 trash cans on either side of the old refrigerator. On the 16th, I sent an email to the Quality of Life unit asking to address the matter. It's the 4th week, and it is still there. And as Councilman was saying, I spend a lot of time on my garden, keep my property neat and clean no matter what the season. I cut my grass myself, even today. But I'm having problems with this property. And I don't quite understand why it's taking so long for this matter to be addressed. So that's why I'm here tonight. I also want to tell you that my subdivision, the HOA doesn't have any power. It cannot do anything. So we rely on code enforcement to help us out. And I don't know if this is in the ordinance, but it seems as though my neighbors all think that the trash can belongs in the front of the yard. And they're moving their trash. I can think of 3 of them right offhand, move their trash to the front. The wind comes, like you were saying, blow the trash over into my yard, and I'm constantly picking up from this side and that side. I must add also that I did include a picture of the offending trash in the street. So I'd like for you to address this matter. And one more thing, I'm not sure what the ordinance says, but commercial vehicles are being parked in the driveway in Rose Lake subdivision, because a refrigerated truck is not a recreational vehicle. It's a commercial vehicle, whether it has 6 wheels or 4 wheels. So that's happening. And the commercial van that beeps, beep, 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 when it's backing up, that even my bird is imitating it, it's not a recreational vehicle. But they're finding ways to get around the ordinance by not marking the vehicle. So you might need to examine the ordinance and help us keep Snellville clean. 33 years, I don't plan to move. If I wanted to move, I wouldn't spend a lot of money fixing my house and my garden. If I wanted to live among trash, I'd go down to downtown Bankhead or whatever down there. I wouldn't live in Snellville. I've seen the changes. I don't like it. I'm asking you guys, please address it. Thank you.
Ms. Forbes, can you give me the address of that house you were speaking of?
Certainly. 2781.
Okay. Anyone else like to come forward for public comment? Please state your name and address for the record. 5 minutes on one topic, please, or less than 5 minutes.
I'm going to oblige you in less. Good evening. My name is Marlene Tillman, and I reside in the Nob Hill subdivision. I'm here regarding the group of properties in Nob Hill along Club Drive, Knollwood Drive, and Rollins Street near Main Street. While no rezoning application has been submitted, the recent clearing of homes and trees suggests that the plans may be underway and that our community is paying attention. We've experienced this before. About 15 to 20 years ago, there were similar efforts tied to these same properties. At that time, residents learned discussions about alternative uses were already happening with local leadership before the community was informed. We ultimately came together and stopped that effort, but only after the fact. So today I'm asking a very straightforward question. What is already known about plans for these properties, and who already knows it? This question is especially important given that some members of the council have received campaign contributions from development interests. That alone may not mean anything improper, but it does raise the stakes for transparency and public trust. If there have been any conversations, proposals, or informal discussions regarding these properties, the public needs to know now, not later. Nob Hill residents are paying attention. Be transparent, follow the current zoning plan, and protect this neighborhood from outside interests. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Just for the record.
No, sir, you'll have to come up and name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Sylvester Coleman, and I'm also a resident of Nob Hill. And I was going to make the same comment, but it's already been made about that house, those houses. So I'll just say I have the same comment, and I'm troubled about. I watched them being torn down, and I've been thinking about what they're going to put there in place. And I remember when they was years ago when they tried to rezone it. I've been in Nob Hill since 2007. I used to come here to a lot of the city council meetings, and I stopped coming after Kelly left. So anyway, I would like to say that as of last year, my taxes went up a few $100s. And as a resident out here, I'm retired 20 years. I can't afford to move. And if somebody move in, if the property is rezoned and if it's rezoned it's going to make the people in Nob Hill property higher. So keep that in mind, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is David Houston. I live right here in the Tomlin, 2225 Wisteria Drive. My concern this evening is in regards to the parking garage, and I just want to know if there's any plans in place to make this parking paid, anything to deter people each morning before I get in my vehicle or when I get in my vehicle to go to my office. There are people using this garage for like storage of vehicles, and there's 4 or 5 people that come throughout the week and they switch out vehicles and they leave vehicles here. Driving up the ramp, there are several vehicles that's been sitting there for months, collecting dust, as well as I came out of my home one evening and there were probably 8 to 10 young adults with the music loud, I guess, filming some sort of music video. So I guess my question to you all is there some type of deterrence that we can have for that parking garage to stop people from storing vehicles and just to keep it peaceful for the residents? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Seeing none. Well, we will not be adjourning the meeting tonight. We have an executive session to go to, so I will read that notice. During the public hearing of the mayor and City Council of Snellville, Georgia, Mayor Bender announced that certain matters should be discussed in a closed session of the meeting and asked council to advise the city with respect to closing the meeting. City Attorney Jay Crowley advised the city of the following reasons to close the meeting: upon the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action, or dismissal or periodic evaluation or rating of a public officer or employee, which is excluded pursuant to OCGA Section 50-14-3B2. Upon a motion of Councilmember and seconded by Councilmember, the meeting was closed with the following council members and the mayor present and voting. Mayor Barbara Bender, yes. Mayor Pro Tem Norman Carter. Yes. Councilmember Carrie Hetherington is absent. Councilmember Rochelle Brown. Yes. Councilmember Catherine Hardrick.
No.
Councilmember Shante C.J. Pitt.
Yes.
With that, the meeting will be closed. We will adjourn into our conference room to hold the executive session. We're doing this tonight after the meeting because we didn't have enough time during the work session to have the exec session during the work session or right after as we normally do. So we are adjourning there. We do not expect any votes to come out of that meeting, and we will come back into this session to adjourn this meeting when we are done. So thank you all for coming out. We appreciate your being here, and be safe going home. Council will give 5 minutes to make your way to the conference room so we can get started. Our exec sessions. Do we have everybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we are back in regular session. The time is, if I have the time, 8:57. We have no action coming out of the executive session, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there? Motion to adjourn the meeting. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
CJ. All in favor, raise your hand. It's 5 in favor, so we are done at 8:58. Good night, everybody.